Hey guys. All right, so
Strongly believe that
here we are in the kitchen.
positive and cares about
We've actually gotten
Can you please
quite a lot done so far. Gotten it to where we can. The house is getting more livable. However, unfortunately, we will end up having to rebuild. There's some water damage in the basement because of something that, of course, Tim did. Or didn't know how to do, rather, that caused water damage. And water damage that collectively, slowly over the last 2 years, caused enough damage to the main joist in the house to where we're gonna have to end up rebuilding. So, but Elaine is helping us out with all of that, and we have family, and everything's gonna be all right. And God is also, He's making a way. God will make a way where there seems to be no way. That song has always meant a lot to me. And this is one of those situations where it seems like it's an impossible situation, but I know it's not. And I know there's options, and we've been discussing those options, and just we got this. God's got this. Our family has this. So. All right. So, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and do some videos, and give me the remote. Just gonna turn it down a little bit. Scott and I have been watching Ghost Hunters. Why is it so loud?
I didn't turn it off. You deserve to get all.
Well, then the ghost was messing with it, Scott, because I did not turn it up past 90. That was definitely not me. Alright, anyway. So, I decided to go to the bottom of my homesteading board and do one out of the wood cook stove section. This is how to cook on a wood stove. And I will go ahead, and here we go, guys. And this is from the Homestead Survival site, which I have that open on my computer here. Yes, I finally got my computer up. No, it is not the desktop. The desktop was damaged in the move, thanks to Leanne's dog. So, I'm having to pay for the desktop, and I don't even have it, can't use it, but it's thanks to her dog. Because she couldn't keep a handle on her dog. Anyway, alright. How to cook on a wood stove. Here we go. Cooking on a wood stove requires a bit of patience at first. Just like learning to cook over, on our off-grid stove. It's kind of the same thing. But the delicious rewards make the learning process well worth it. Having a wood cook stove or a wood burning stove will allow you to heat your home and cook food during a disaster when the power grid fails. Amen to that. Unfortunately, right now, we can't use the wood stove in the house, so we've kind of got an issue on that there. But God will provide. If we have to cook outside, we have to cook outside. We can do that. You can cook food or boil water on either type of wood stove, but there are distinct advantages and disadvantages to both. The firebox, which is the most important part of any wood-burning stove or wood-cook stove, is where the wood goes. The flames grow, and the hot coals needed to cook food are created. A wood-cook stove will not heat a living area quite as well as a wood-burning stove, but it will help keep the area warm while pulling double duty as a place to prepare food and boil water. Wood-burning stoves versus wood-cook stoves. Here we go. Any wood-burning stove with a flat surface on top can be used to cook food, even if the off-grid device was not specifically made to accomplish that task. A wood-burning stove heats a home or a room more effectively than a wood-cook stove, but cannot be used as an oven like a wood-cook stove. The top of a standard wood-burning stove can typically hold up to 3 small cast-iron pots or 2 large ones. The cooking surface on a standard wood cook stove can usually accommodate 4 large pots. Wood cook stoves. A wood cook stove can be used as a stove, oven, food warmer, and to help keep a room or small home warm. Some wood cook stoves include not only an oven for baking, but also a dedicated reservoir for heating water. A wood cook stove might cost a little more than a wood burning stove, but not necessarily. The price difference will depend on the dimensions of each stove and the options added. Actually, you can get a wood cook stove on Amazon for just a little over $1,000. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's actually pretty decent. It's actually better priced than Lehman's.
Just above us.
And it's a good brand. And it's high ratings. It's like 4.7 or 4.8 stars, so
We're just looking for a name so we can put a face to a name.
wood cook stoves come in multiple dimensions, from huge ones like the type that adorn Amish homes in my region, to units that are closer in dimension to a modern stove and can fit inside a small home or spacious kitchen alongside a traditional gas or electric range. A large wood cook stove with a 21-gallon cooking capacity from Wood Cook Stoves costs about $2,600. Now, see, that's a brand site. That's actually a wood cook stove site. The model at this price point comes with one oven rack, but you can order additional oven racks. Some but not all wood cook stove manufacturers offer free shipping in the contiguous United States. These stoves are super heavy, so free shipping will save you a ton of money. A warming oven will come in quite handy when preparing a meal for a large family or group during a long-term disaster. Bread and other food can be kept warm throughout the day, so members of your group or family will have a hot meal waiting when they come in from doing chores. And that's always a good thing, especially when it's cold out. Come on, making that being stupid.
Actually, it's been pretty quiet down here, so I think we have enough of a buffer zone. So
What in the world?
All right, we're going to actually.
All right, how to cook on a wood stove.
10-4.
To make sure you don't burn your food. Okay, that water bottle is making me mad.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't think it'd be upstairs.
You need to allow the fire time to die down a bit before placing anything on the surface except the pot of water to boil. See, I kind of don't do that when I'm out there, but I also don't want to end up going through a lot of wood right now out there on just the off-grid stove, so. Approaching the time of placing pots onto the stove like you would approach the timing of placing pots onto the stove like you would when preparing a meal on a charcoal grill. Adjusting the damper on the stove will help regulate the temperature, but this is not a microwave or a conventional stove, so the change in heat will not happen immediately. The center of the oven is typically the hottest spot, depending on where the firebox is located. On a wood-burning stove, the box generally runs down the middle of the unit, but the center is still almost always the hottest surface area on the stove. Pots placed on the center or directly over the wood box will need to be stirred more frequently to prevent scorching. Makes sense. 9 wood stove cooking tips. 1. If you're going to cook on a wood-burning stove, it is best to use a unit with a chimney that comes out the back of the stove instead of one with a chimney that extends from the top. A top chimney setup reduces the cooking area and skews the heat when cooking. Remember, heat stability is key during the cooking process. 2, no matter how great the stove is, there is almost always one spot that gets hotter than the rest. This spot is where you will want to place a pot that needs to come to a boil or a skillet when frying. Makes sense. 3. If your fire does not seem to be getting hot enough to boil, fry, cook, or bake upon, try building it up by using multiple small logs up to 4 inches in diameter as opposed to one large log that can take a long time to get burning. Okay, logs up to 4 inches in diameter is like, think about that.
There's lots of buildings with lots of parking
Diameter.
garages.
That's around it. Yes.
Jason.
All right.
I wonder if we should find a spot to kind of be quiet for a little bit.
The thinner logs will burn faster, the opposite of what you want when building a fire to keep you warm until morning. and will produce a more intense heat in a shorter amount of time. The higher the flames, the hotter the cooking surface. Actually, it might be about like that.
With you? Just light over here. A light? Yeah. Hear that?
The higher the flames, the hotter the cooking surface will become. Number 4, you can usually hasten the cooking process if you preheat your cast iron cookware. Simply place the empty pot, skillet, or Dutch oven onto the wood stove where you're making the food so it will already be getting warm and ready to retain heat. And they retain heat really well, so. You are cooking with enamel camping cookware and not cast iron. The bottom and sides of the cookware will heat up far more quickly, but will not retain heat as well throughout the cooking process. Alright, hang on.
See, it just got really cold around my neck. Is that coming from the window?
Sorry.
Behind you? No. Out of my neck.
I had a lot of problems with my sinuses. Temperature changes.
Hey, we're doing 1.6 there. Oh, yeah. Started on the left side of my neck. I go behind you, it dissipates. 0.7 back there, 0.6. Almost like a friggin' hand or an arm. Steve and I decided we were going to sit down in the lounge area. Steve sounded like me.
5. Always use a firm fitting lid to help trap and retain the heat in the cook pot and increase processing times. 6. Rotating the food and not just stirring it will help it cook more quickly and evenly and prevent scorching or even outright burning while you're still learning how to cook on a wood stove. 7. An oven cooks by surrounding food on all sides with a steady low heat. Using the same principle, you can create an oven on top of your wood heat stove. All you need is a cast iron trivet to elevate the food, working like the rack in a conventional oven. The trivet will help keep the food from coming in direct contact with the surface of the stove so that it doesn't overheat or burn. I actually have one of those. Cover the trivet with a pot that is big enough to turn upside. Oh, okay, no, never mind, I don't. To turn upside down over the food to create the walls of the oven. Okay, I know what they're talking about. Never mind. Not what I thought they were talking about. Sorry.
Is there anything in this
To
room
create the
that's
walls of the
yours?
oven and hold in the heat. Number 8, purchase a cast iron trivet or several to use when cooking on a wood stove. This will allow you to essentially turn down the heat if the stove surface becomes too hot for something that is being prepared. You can place a pot on the top of the trivet after it has been placed on the stove to allow airflow and space between the bottom of the pot and the firebox below. Number 9, it is possible to cook directly inside the firebox, but this can be both tricky and dangerous. Do not attempt to prepare food inside the firebox if you have a hot and roaring fire already established. The food will burn quickly.
Just tell me to say like Sean movement or anything like that. Are you here with us now? I'm sure a lot of people would like to know.
Why?
To know who you are. You're a nurse of some kind in one of these battles?
If cooking inside the firebox, push the hot coals away from the cooking area and use a Dutch oven with feet on the bottom so the cookware does not rest directly on the coals. Add a little extra water or other liquid to the dish to avoid scorching, but not so much that it boils over. Always cover the Dutch oven with a lid to prevent ashes or other debris from contaminating the food.
Jay felt that cold around him.
Cooking time. How long it takes to cook or bake a particular dish will depend less on the type of wood stove you are using and more on the heat and stability of the fire. Cookbooks and printable online recipes designed for wood stove cooking or camp cooking over an open flame will help guide you through cooking times. But don't rely solely upon the recipe, as there is no simple, effective way to measure the heat on most stoves. Use the recipes as a guide and assume it may take longer than suggested or that more stirring and food rotation will be necessary to get the dish to turn out right.
Are you Lieutenant Prescott?
My phone was being stupid. Come on. Keeps freezing up on me.
If you're proud, make a noise.
Outdoor and indoor cooking recipes, or even Dutch oven recipes, should serve as a useful guide when making bread, stews, soups, or other multi-ingredient dishes on a wood stove. And that was that. That was it for said my phone is being incredibly stupid right now.
Train the shooting range along with Patrick.
So this place was active until
Come on.
back when we had the epic floods, and this whole area got flooded out, and it's been closed down ever
Okay.
since.
That was it for how to cook on a wood stove, and I will go ahead and get off from here, and I will upload this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you check your subscriptions, you guys. Continue to do your research. Anything homesteading, anything. Do your research. Get that information, because you guys need that information. I will see you guys in the next video, and make sure you check your subscriptions. Click on the notification bell and hit all so you get all the notifications. Bye, guys, and see you guys in the next video.
Doing